A lot of people are so used to having fun with other people and doing things with other people that we forget we can still have fun by ourselves. We can still enjoy time doing something alone. Hey fellow human beings, welcome to the channel. Thanks for coming back or joining if you're new here. When I first called out my ex-friends and how they weren't actually being my friends, I was terrified. I mean, I was scared of losing my friends, but mostly of being alone. Cutting off those friends was really hard, but at first I didn't realize I wasn't losing friends. I was losing people that fed off my attention and empathy, that knew they could ignore me for days and I wouldn't get upset with them, and that let me show up for them way more than they could for me. And it hadn't always been like that, which is what I think made it so hard. The memories that I have from when we were good to each other made me want to overlook all of these red flags, which I did a lot, without even realizing how much I was hurting myself. And I feel like I was hurting myself more than they were hurting me because I was letting them hurt me. Last year, I had really been thinking about my relationship with my best friend at the time and how we were treating each other, so I decided to call her and ask her, do you think we're really as close as we say we are? And she managed to completely dodge my question and quickly get off the phone call, which obviously kind of just answered my question without her actually having to answer my question, and made me question the entirety of our friendship, and not just our friendship, but the ones of all the other people that I thought were really close to me, and turns out they weren't. So I gathered the courage to cut them all off, and as healthy as that was for me, it eventually made me feel extremely lonely, even though I still had a friend who is currently my closest and only really good friend. It was just the fact that I had less people in my life that really got to me, because I was associating the number of friends I had, or lack thereof, with how lonely I felt. As somebody who doesn't really like being alone, I've often found myself wanting to be with everyone else, always wanting somebody with me. And it wasn't until a couple months ago that I even started trying to feel comfortable being by myself. But I feel like I've often found it uncomfortable because I associate being alone with being lonely. And I felt like if it's just me, if I'm by myself, then there must be something wrong with me. There's also this other sense of loneliness I've experienced even when I've been around other people, people that I knew but still felt out of place with because they just weren't my people and there was no connection, but I still forced myself to stay and act like there was, basically making myself feel lonely. And I'm still not the best at being alone, definitely haven't experienced really enjoying being left alone or feeling content being by myself, but I want to. I want to be okay with not having other people around at times and looking forward to spending time just me. I want being in my presence to be just as appealing as being in someone else's, you know? I don't want being alone to be a negative thing for me anymore. I've always loved doing things with and for people, which I feel like has somewhat limited how much I do for and with myself. So I want to share with you what I've been doing and what I want to start doing to become more comfortable with being alone. So the first thing I started doing is started spending early mornings by myself. And I haven't always been an early morning person, but I learned and realized that I like the quiet and I like being able to hear birds when the windows are cracked and just being able to hear everything that's going on, if there is anything going on. Usually everybody else is still asleep, which is why it's quiet, but it's really helped me come into myself and enjoy that time by myself. The second thing I started doing is I started doing my hobbies by myself. I am so used to doing them around other people because I can. Like if I'm drawing or writing or reading, I can do those things around other people, so why not? But I started thinking, okay, maybe I could just do these alone, and if I can be comfortable doing what I love alone, then that could probably help me become more comfortable with just being alone in general. The third thing is a little similar to the last one, but I've also started tuning out what's going on around me if nobody needs me, if I'm not involved in what's going on. If there's a conversation going on in the kitchen or something, usually I'll be there listening to what's going on, not really trying to eavesdrop, but just trying to be a part of it. And I'll take my headphones, put on some music or a podcast or watch something on YouTube that I want to learn about and just separate myself without having to be completely separated, I guess, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But if you don't have to be there, why not just go somewhere else? So you're not filling your head with other people's drama, other people's conversations. Why not just take that time for yourself? The things I want to start doing are I want to start taking walks and trips by myself so I can really put myself out and appreciate what's going on around me, appreciate my environment, and hear stuff, see stuff, do things, have fun by myself, which a lot of people, including me, a lot of people are so used to having fun with other people and doing things with other people that we forget we can still have fun by ourselves. We can still enjoy time doing something alone. I also want to start keeping my business and my goals to myself, not necessarily not like a storefront sort of business, like just what's going on in my life, what I my goals for the future. And I also share a little bit, with my family, with my really close friends, but I'm so used to oversharing a lot that when they don't give me the validation that I'm expecting, it like it's a it's a stab to my ego in meeting those goals. When I meet those goals, I feel like it's going to be a lot more satisfying, me being the main one, knowing what's going on, what I'm working towards. The third thing I want to start doing is create and keep boundaries with the people in my life, not just people that are already in my life, but especially new people that come in because they don't know me, they don't know what I'm working on, what I'm trying to do for myself and for my future. So it's really important that I don't let myself just let them override anything that I'm doing just because they're new and I want them to like me, which is something that I've done always. I want to stop doing that and stop being afraid to start keeping those boundaries. Like almost everything else, this will differ person to person, but it could be worth trying some of the things that I've talked about. Even the things that I said I haven't started doing yet, I totally recommend. So maybe give it a try. And just to be clear, I'm not saying that being comfortable with being alone means that you're always going to be alone or that you can't have any friends. Not at all. It's just, as somebody who's teaching themselves this, I feel like this is really important to any sort of healthy relationship or friendship that you're gonna have. So I'm definitely gonna need more time to really be comfortable with being alone, but I'm glad I could share this with you. And if you have any ideas on how to be more comfortable, go ahead and comment. I'd love to read them. I'm sure other people would too. But if this video helped you in any way, be sure to like and subscribe so we can help more people. Later.